Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's D. We got a video here by the Squidd. This is GTR, how Japan created an unstoppable monster, aka Godzilla, baby. One of you guys went ahead and recommended me to go ahead and check out this channel, check out some of their little car documentaries, and the GTR is my personal favorite sports car, bro. Like, that's always been my favorite, man. I still want one. I'm gonna get one too one of these days. But yeah, this is something I was just gonna go ahead and check out. Shout out to y'all for putting me on, and just let me know some more recommendations. I'll go ahead and check them out. But hope you guys doing good. Hope you guys doing well. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. I'm gonna check out the GTR, baby.
No one really cares about second place.
I don't know. I'll probably take that off.
And to the champion goes all of the glory. If you win on Sunday, you sell on Monday. This is the mantra that entire brands have been built upon.
Damn,
Lotus,
I recognize them
Ferrari,
taillights.
McLaren. Even Ford revitalized its entire image by smacking down the prancing horse with the GT40. Mazda became the pride of Japan when its 787B screamed across the finish line of Le Mans. You wear Nikes because LeBron does. You drink Red Bull because Max Verstappen says so.
Woo!
And in the early 90s, you bought a Skyline GTR because it didn't fucking lose.
I think the R32 is a lot of people's favorite
Today,
GTR.
The R32 GTR is a balanced, fun little sports car. Capable,
It is nice though. I mean,
potential.
undeniably,
In the 1990s,
undeniably
it
nice.
was unstoppable. In racing form, the R32 GTR obliterated anything it faced. Its performance was so dominating, so monolithic, that it sent everyone
crazy.
back to the drawing board.
I go to these car meets and people still got R32s. Like, it's crazy, bro.
It changed.
People
the
still got 'em.
rules. The third generation GTR saved a struggling Japanese company and
Yo,
catapulted them into
look
one
at
of
this
the most
commercial.
respected names in the sports car universe.
You got kids
All
running
thanks
after the
to a top
GTR.
secret project known only as 901. Nissan created a monster. Its name was Godzilla, and
Yeah.
this is how it was born.
Now, I do know the name Godzilla did not come from the Japanese. It came from the Australians, bro. And I think it was referred to the R32 GTR. Because it was just crushing the competition, bro. It was doing what it needed to do.
I'm not going to start at the beginning. You've already heard that story. There was a war crime, there was a merger, then came the Skylines, then there were GTRs, and then there wasn't
I still have
anything
yet
for a
seen
while.
the original GTR in person though, like the first one. Still have not seen it yet. I've seen all the other ones,
No.
just not that one.
Today,
Just
our
not
story
that
begins in 1984.
1984.
See, Nissan was struggling.
The
They
hell
were
is that?
floundering. They
TI.
couldn't sell cars and they couldn't win races. The Nissan Z had become bloated and boring. The Skyline hadn't been worthy of the GTR badge in a decade.
All new Nissan Skyline, purely for the pleasure of driving.
The gas crisis of the 70s had changed Nissan, and not for the better. Enter Yutaka Kume, taking over as president of Nissan Motors in
Yutaka Kume.
1985. Kume takes the company by storm. You see, Nissan was buried in bureaucracy. Kume directs his people to remember the customers, to stop making boxy, boring cars. And
Yeah.
He plans to lead with what is known as a spirit of hunger.
Spirit
Most
of hunger.
companies in dire situations go the easy route. They start cutting costs, they build more mass appeal cars, Porsche, and usually they get out of costly enterprises like racing. But Kume wanted Nissan to double down. He knew that for Nissan to be truly successful, they needed to raise their reputation on the world stage. And there is no better way to do that than to win. Kume and Nissan form a company-wide initiative known as the 901 movement. Its goal
901 movement.
is to create the #1 best-performing cars in the world by 1990. This is the moment that changes Nissan's history forever.
I know, the skyline is terrific.
You see, in 1984, Nissan's performance division, Nismo, was born. And
Hey,
so was I.
Nissan Motorsports.
Pretty good year. Yasuharu Namba is given the task. of
Wait.
leading- You see, in 1984, Nissan's performance division, Nismo, was born. And so was I. It was a pretty good year.
Oh.
Yasuharu Namba is given the task of leading
That's the
Nissan's
YouTuber.
performance division.
That's
He
the
had been
Squidd.
driving and testing Nissan race
Who's that?
cars
Who's that
since
little baby? What the heck?
1958. And under his guidance, Nismo entered
Boy had
touring car
clout.
racing in 1985 with a serious intent to win. Their target was the All Japan Touring Car Championship. Despite its name, it was actually a global competition that took place in Japan. So Ford, BMW, Ferrari, Porsche all came to compete with Japan's best. And for a long time, Nissan was Japan's best. Nissan dominated the series with the C10 GTR back in the 60s, and in the 70s, they fought hard against Porsche, BMW, and Ferrari in Group 5, championing the insane Super Silhouette Skyline.
Yo, look at that. What the frick?
And then, in 1985, the series was reborn with Group A.
You said 1985?
Group
Group
A,
A.
for those that are uninformed, is related to Group B. You know, those wild rally racing monsters everybody loves?
Yeah.
See, the FIA organization has specific
Woo.
classes or groups for racing cars, on or off-road. Group B was the more unlimited class, and Group A had tighter restrictions. They were cars that closely resembled the ones consumers could buy from dealerships. They had limited modifications, factory body panels, which means that they were a far more effective sales tool for Nissan. If racing fans could see a car that they could actually buy winning races, and it was defeating global superpowers like Ford and BMW, they would sell those cars.
Oh yeah,
That
most
is,
definitely.
if they could win.
And in the Nissan 600,000K Enduro, Skyline went all the way to prove that it really is the winning Aussie 6.
Very nice.
Very.
Yo, this
And
old
you
ass
see,
commercial.
That was the problem. At the time, the GTR name was all but a distant memory for Nissan. The Nissan DR30 Skyline had been successful in the Group 5 racing series, but Group A meant it had to come in largely stock form. So gone were all the wild aero parts, and the DR30 could not keep pace. In the 1985 season, it struggled to compete with the BMW 6 Series, Honda Civic Si, the Turbo Volvos, and even the Levin Corollas. Then, in 1986, Nissan debuted the DR31, the first RB-powered Skyline. It was boxy, it wasn't very inspiring, and today it's pretty much all but forgotten. But
It kinda
did
looks like
take
a-
home the top
a
spot in its
freaking,
very first race of the JTCC. And
looks
thanks
like
to some
a
weird
freaking
scoring structures in the series, it won the
Camry.
overall championship in 1986. The team at Nissan starts to feel the electricity of victory, but that moment is short-lived. As the years go on, the series gains popularity and competition heats up. More international manufacturers start joining the fray. The E30 BMW M3 is released upon the tracks of Japan. Ford fields the Sierra and begins to win races. The podiums of this Japanese championship begin to be almost completely dominated by foreigners. Nissan's grasp on the top spot begins to weaken. Japan as a whole starts to take a back seat in its own championship. To truly dominate Group A, Nissan knew they needed a new car. And for that, the 901 movement needs to show the world what Nissan is truly capable of.
Well, let's check it out, baby.
Technology versus the bottom line.
Thanks to the efforts of the 901 project and Kumei's leadership, mid-80s Nissan was a technology powerhouse. And it culminated with the reveal of the Nissan Mid 4, Nissan's ambitious take on the word supercar, a mid-engined wedge-shaped sports car. That might make
The
some
Mid
fans of the
4.
NSX question if maybe Honda copied some of their homework off of Nissan in the 80s.
No way, bro. I've never even heard of this car before. Hold on. What the heck? It does look like the NSX though. Mid 4.
On Mid 4, Nissan's ambitious take on the word supercar, a mid-engined wedge-shaped sports car. That might make some fans of the NSX question if maybe Honda
Bro, I think Honda might have copied. They might have copied, bro.
copied some of their homework off of Nissan in the 80s. While it is a crime against humanity that the Mid 4 and the Mid 4 2 never made it into production, as a result of its development, Nissan had a proper all-wheel drive system to implement into
That's
its
probably why I
new
never heard of
Halo
it.
car. They even had a revolutionary four-wheel steering system, And thanks to Kume and his devotion to catapulting Nissan to the upper echelons, they had the vision they needed to not just make another Skyline, but to bring back a legend.
I love you, Skyline.
I love you
All
too.
of the pieces were in place. Kume and Nissan had decided that now was the time to revive the sacred GTR badge.
Yeah.
It had been
see
15
it.
years since the silver and red letters had graced a Skyline, and with Group A as the target for the next generation Skyline from the outset, Nissan knew exactly what they needed to build. They developed the RB platform into a 2.6-liter inline 6. It was a monster of a power plant, spinning 2 turbos and outputting around 320 horsepower from the factory, and soaring to more like 600 or 800 horsepower on the racetrack. And thanks to the Group A class rules, they knew that the 2.6-liter engine was the biggest engine they could fit into their class, and weight was always in mind from the outset. Nowhere was that more apparent than in the interior. It was Spartan, it was simple. It's well designed, but sitting on those cloth seats and holding that pedestrian steering wheel, you'd never think this was a Halo car. But the R32 GTR was strictly business.
You would have thought if you were designing a car to take on the Porsche 928 and the Ferrari 355, you'd make it look just a little bit more exciting than this.
Its body design was simple. Aerodynamically,
I like
it was
the design of the
improved over
R32
boxy
though.
Skylines of the 80s. And they had made panels out of aluminum to stay within the Group A weight target. But visually, it was still a modest car in all regards. Only a small wing and a couple of ducts let you know that this was a performance piece. But underneath that modest outward appearance, spinning beneath the muted gray carpets, laid the secret weapon that was the key to the GTR's success: the Ateza ETS system.
Distributing that much power through 4 rather than 2 wheels allows the use of radical horsepower.
Nissan's engineering team had been paying
all-wheel
attention to
drive?
what was going on in the world of sports cars. To them, Porsche had built the best handling cars on the market, and their 959 was the most advanced road car ever built. So they bought one and tore it to shreds. What they found underneath was the secret to its success.
No
Its
way.
all-wheel drive system. Look,
No
all
way.
great
Did
art is
Nissan
stolen
got the idea from Porsche? That's
system.
actually kind of crazy.
Distributing that much power
I didn't know
through
that.
4 rather than 2 wheels allows the use of radical horsepower.
Nissan's engineering team had
Wow.
been paying attention to
So
what
they
was going on in the
bought that Porsche to pretty much figure out what was the secret,
world of sports cars.
and they added it to
them,
their car.
Porsche had built the best handling cars on the market.
Oh
And their
shoot!
959 was the most
Nissan is
advanced
really
road
out
car
here.
ever built. So they bought one and tore it to shreds. What they found underneath was the secret to its success: its all-wheel drive system.
That's
Look,
crazy.
all great art is stolen in some way. If you're not taking cues from the competition, you're not gonna win. So Nissan
that's-
did exactly
that's true,
that.
though.
They employed
true.
a similar electro-hydraulic clutch to distribute power, but unlike the 959, which always sends power to the front wheels, giving it too much understeer for Nissan's taste, the GTR's all-wheel drive system would only engage the front wheels when the rear wheels lost traction. It utilized computers and G-force sensors to deliver power exactly where and when it was needed. The
Oh, that's
result was
cool.
Supreme power delivery to the rear wheels, rocketing the GTR down a front straight and giving the car more
Oh,
oversteer,
what?
better driving behavior in turns, but delivering unparalleled grip in any situation. It was the best of both worlds. While
Wow.
the RB26 DETT gets all the glory today, it really was this Ateza system that made the GTR special. But not even Nissan themselves could have predicted how this combination of power, technology, and low weight would dominate. In 1990, a GTR pulled up to the start line on a racetrack in Japan. Its competitors are staring at its 4 round red brake lights. And for years, that's all they ever see of it.
The GTR is the most sophisticated weapon.
Those iconic
you've seen in
taillights.
UK touring car racing.
In sports, rarely are there dominant performances. And when they happen, they make
crazy 'cause
history.
Corvette
Risky.
kind of
Ollie,
did away with their
Jordan.
little
But you
the circle
see,
tail lights,
all of them suffered losses.
but GTR is still
The
keeping theirs.
R32 didn't. For years in Group A,
We'll see if
in
the
every
electric
race,
one has them.
the
I'm sure they're
GTR
gonna
crossed
have the
finish
electric
line
one have them
first,
too.
leaving the best of Ford, Honda, and Toyota in the dust. Not just taking the top spot, but typically filling the entire podium. For the 29 races in 1990 to 1993, in Group A, driving an R32 was practically cheating. The results cemented Nissan
No
as the
way, they called
performance
it.
car king of
They said that thing was
Japan.
performing so
It
well.
fought off the foreign
They said it was
adversaries that had been
cheating
making a
to
mockery
have
of them
one.
on their home turf.
That's crazy.
It rebuilt the honor of Japanese motorsport, but it wasn't just Group A. In 1991, it took home the trophy in the Spa 24-hour race. It dominated the Bathurst 1000 in 91 and 92. It went on to champion Group N racing as well. In 1989, Best Motoring set a Nürburgring lap record of 8 minutes and 22 seconds. This was the fastest production car for sale, period. But it was the GTR's performance in Australia that finally earned it the name Godzilla.
Godzilla. Yeah.
Godzilla is a funny name. It sounds menacing, brutal. Thanks to the movies, it conjures up images of entire
Man,
cities
he's that.
being melted with fire.
He's that lizard.
But the word
Let's
itself
go.
means gorilla whale, which, come to think of it, kind of fits. In the early 90s, though, the movie dinosaur was a pop culture icon globally, a sort of mascot for Japan to the outside world. So,
I mean,
when the
Godzilla
R32
is
GTR
huge
came
even
to the
today.
shores of Australia and laid
Like,
waste to everything it competed
Any
against.
new Godzilla movie, people will eat that thing up in theaters, bro. Any new Godzilla movie that comes out, people are still watching that.
Spitting fire and screaming like a demon. It was only natural that the local Aussie press gave it the nickname Godzilla.
In this
Yeah.
technical one-upmanship between nations, it seems Nissan has outperfected Ford's near-perfect Group A car.
The GTR uprooted the reigning king of Australian touring cars, the Ford Sierra. The Sierra had just as much power and weighed less, but it couldn't keep up with the R32 as it catapulted on corner exit thanks to the Ateza system. Godzilla's reign was so supreme that the Australians demanded it be removed from competition, separating it from the Fords and Holdens, which
They're saying to remove
this is
it?
the key moment that goes on to create the Australian V8 supercar series. The R32 GTR was finally the true successor to the GTR name.
Man, if you had an
Not since the
R32,
60s had a
that was a
Japanese
cheat
car owned
code.
So many trophies.
It was
Had
literally a
become
cheat
such
code.
Terrifying performer. Kumi and Team Nissan's plan had worked. The 901 movement had done exactly what it had set out to do.
What a legendary
Create a
car,
that
though,
would win
bro.
on Sunday and
I'm
sell
kind of looking
on
at
Monday.
R32s different now, bro. I'm not gonna lie. After this
And sell
video,
it did.
If you're looking
sheesh.
to buy yourself the right car, come to Trophy and Mesquite. We're not too far. We got Nissan cars and trucks, so don't be shy.
You can buy 'em from a lady.
You can buy them from a guy.
From the
Hey,
outset, Nissan knew they
got
had
some
to
bars.
make 5,000 units for Group A homologation. But not even they could predict the reaction from the Japanese public. The GTR was back, and it was destroying the competition. Everyone had to have one. They
Shoot,
blew
I need
through
one.
those 5,000 examples in mere months.
I need one right now,
Going on to sell
actually.
over 40,000 R32 GTRs over its production run. Nissan's name had been revitalized. They were now the household name for fast cars from Japan. The 901 movement had created the new twin-turbo 300ZX, a luxurious rocket ship with 2 turbos and world-beating performance. They had spawned the Nissan Silvia, a lightweight, practical sports car with unlimited potential. The Pulsar GTI-R, a rally-inspired hot hatch that never got the credit it was due. And most importantly, they had created a monster that laid waste to the world stage. That not
I
only
should definitely
rebuilt the
check out
reputation
these
of a car company,
older
but of the
car
Japanese automotive
commercials,
industry as
bro.
a whole.
Some of these are a little
Worldwide,
goofy.
Everyone had a new name to fear, and that name was Godzilla. Thanks for watching.
sir.
Check out my other videos.
Hey, hey, bro. W freaking video, y'all. I did not know all that about the R32, man. That's making me look at those cars different now. I definitely be seeing them at car meets, but and then I see like crowds of people surround that car, and like before I'm kind of like, okay, that's cool. You know, it's one of the first GTRs. You feel me? That's pretty dope. But now actually like knowing the history behind it is, I'm looking at them cars a little different now. Now I want one. Nah, I definitely still want a R35 though. Like that's my dream car right there. And I'm really curious to see what Nissan does with the electric GTR. I mean, it would have been really cool if they made it like hybrid, but it looks like they are not doing it that way. They're not going hybrid. They're going straight electric, bro. But I'm sure it's gonna perform crazy well. I'm just curious to see what they do with it. But yeah, man, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If y'all did enjoy, please make sure you like and subscribe. And let me know some other videos to go ahead and react to. And I hope you guys have a good and blessed day. I'm gonna leave this video link in my description so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And yeah, man, I hope you guys have a good and blessed day. Peace out.